I would say that I am one of the most wealthy people in the world. I have the opportunity currently to be able to teach my oldest son how to barbecue and how to run a business.
Yeah.
And how to be a leader.
Well, my dad brought me home from school because my grades weren't good and I didn't have a job, and he said, you need to come home. So it's not like I had a choice. We ran them old 26-foot Mercedes box trucks that didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And they had forced heat in them. So not only did you not have air conditioning, the faster you went, the hotter the heat blew on you.
Exactly. When we met, she did not eat meat almost at all. And dinner or lunch, if she didn't have that, was a bag of hot Cheeto fries and a Mountain Dew. And I was like, of course, when we met, she's got gastrointestinal. She's like, I always got heartburn. I was like, look at what you just ate. Like, let's eat a vegetable.
Welcome back to Single Tree Nation, guys. I'm your man, Charlie Eblen, and as always, we have our illustrious co-host, Mr. Derry Wells, with us today.
What's up, everybody?
What it be, dude?
Man, I need summertime fast.
Summertime's here for you.
We're close. I kid you not. My daughter was talking to me today, and I made the comment. She was going to do a young lady's hair, and she's like, I'll do it tomorrow. I said, you going to do it tomorrow on a Saturday? She's like, Dad, today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. And I was like, oh, thought it was Friday all day long.
All day long, huh?
Yeah, until I pulled up here and realized quickly, nope, it's Wednesday.
Well, by the time it's theirs, it'll be full-fledged summer. So you should have a good farmer stand by
I'll
then.
be fine then. Yeah, absolutely. So,
look, we got a pretty cool show today.
Absolutely.
We have a friend of the show, Roger Vaughn from Off the Dock, has joined our program today. I learned of who you were because I started ordering some food from you guys.
Yeah.
Luke has been treating me good. So, but you are far more than just some seafood and some chicken.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why don't you take a second and tell everybody who you are and a little bit about your company, and we can kind of dive into the backstory and how you got there.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate y'all having me. We're a protein supplier. We try center of the plate protein is what we're targeting for, and but we have a poultry processing room here in Nashville that we do about 70,000 pounds of finished product a week out of. We have beef and pork in that USDA room as well, and we have a fish cutting room on the other side. So we're actually operating under 3 HACCP plans. With USDA is one, TDA, FDA is another, and then our distribution plan. We're running about 7 trucks a day, local trucks out of here. We also have a facility in Memphis. We're doing about the same thing. No poultry in Memphis, but cut steaks, hamburger, and fish and seafood out of Memphis. So we're kind of the one-stop shop for proteins, I think.
I love it. I can tell you, I got a case of chicken halves today, actually. Was it today? Yesterday. One of those days. They're all run together today. They're all running together.
Yeah, it's Saturday already.
Right? Darius moved us to the weekend. I'm ready. I'm good for it. But I would tell you, it is some of the best. The chicken itself is extremely high quality, but what gets me is when you open the case, just how clean it is. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like you go to the grocery store and you get stuff, you know what I mean? And it's you pull it out, it's clean, it's been washed, it's been taken care of. But like to mass produce what you guys produce, mm-hmm. and especially since I've been ordering from you, the consistency is amazing. That is one of the things I can tell you from a restaurant standpoint that just continues to get me to come back.
Yeah,
is the consistency, is because I know what I'm going to get,
right,
and know what to expect, and it's a high quality product. It's easy to get something high quality once. It's hard to get something high quality every single week, week in and week out, and you guys are doing it, man. So kudos to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and as a smaller group, our QA is a little tighter. Mm-hmm. We have some tenured people in our room. We have probably 7 or 8 people who've been back there 12, 15 years. They care.
Yeah.
They care about the product they put out. And so it makes a difference. It does. opposed to a plant where they're just trying to get 16 head in a box and get it CVP'd and go, right? So I appreciate you saying that, and I'll pass that on to my folks for sure.
Please do. Please do. Now, you haven't always been in the center of the plate protein business.
No, I haven't. My career, or I didn't know it many years ago, started in the 50s. My dad's father, my grandfather, started a whole hog sausage company over in South Nashville. And in the first 5 or 6 years in existence, they were killing hogs. So they were slaughtering, and then they got to bringing in dressed hogs for it. That elevated into the late 70s. My dad, it wasn't a good business model anymore. Just sausage, store-door sausage wasn't a good business model anymore. So he transformed that into like a boxed beef and pork for retail. So we kind of took that off into the 80s and through the early 90s but we were really big into Boston butts, shoulders. There wasn't a barbecue pit probably in 100 miles we didn't service. Real combos were real big then, 2,000-pound combos, because these guys were cooking, and picnics were a big deal. Now it's Boston butts, right? But picnics were a big deal back then. So, and I can remember many times going out on those trucks. We didn't have lift gates and pallet jacks, so in order to unload those combos, we was handing them down one at a time. So, but yeah, kind of elevated through that. I came back home from school in '91. My dad brought me home from school because my grades weren't good and I didn't have a job, and he said, you need to come home. So it's not like I had a choice, and went to work full time. But I'd work summers, through high school. Me and both my brothers did, and worked summers riding on them trucks. Tell you something else about my dad back then. We was talking about this a while ago. I think summer coming, we ran them old 26-foot Mercedes box trucks that didn't have air conditioning, and they had forced heat in them. So not only did you not have air conditioning, the faster you went, the hotter the heat blew on you.
Exactly.
So, but he refused. I remember he bought a couple trucks there later, and he had the air conditioners taken out of them because he said nobody could have an air conditioner. So we learned on those dusty roads, them full meat trucks, them 80-pound grind boxes, and them 70-pound shoulder and butt boxes and ribs, and from there, I got back from school and I was gung-ho, and I was ready to improve the business, and I was ready to buy trucks, and I was ready to. We didn't have a computer. This was '91. We didn't have a computer in the building in '91, and we were doing $20 million in revenue then in '91, and so we're plugging along. I want to buy trucks. We need to change the model again. We need to do this, and yeah. Go back there and unload the truck. Yeah. Take this route. Yeah. And so finally I come in, he sits me down and he says, son, let me tell you something. He said, I don't have any debt. I make as much money as I want to. I don't need new trucks, and I don't need new customers. He said, but it's obvious you want to go in a different direction, so I'm going to help you. This is my dad pimp me out story right here. I tell this all the time. So I said, okay, what are we going to do? And we were buying poultry from a company called GoldKist then, and GoldKist was the second largest processor in the country behind Tyson then. And GoldKist had a distribution center in Nashville, and that's where we bought our chicken. And so I was told, you need to show up at GoldKist at 3 o'clock, and you need to see this guy, Ron Pickett, and they're going to put you to work. And I said, well, put me to work. I work here. He said, no, your ambition's too big for me. He said, I can retire in 5 years and take care of all my people in the building, and I'll be fine. And I said, okay. Well, I showed up at GoldKist, and I started loading trucks, and I started driving trucks. And luckily for me, I had good mentors in the poultry world. I elevated from truck driver to supervisor to operations manager to distribution manager to Northeast Alabama region manager. Had good people brought me along the way. My last stint at GoldKist, it was supply chain for KFC, Popeyes, and Churches.
Wow.
So it was Southeastern supply chain for them guys, the big bone-in guys. And Russellville, Alabama, Boaz and Guntersville were 3 plants in our division. So got to spend a lot of lake time in Boaz. And then we got bought out by Pilgrim. And when I say bought out, y'all can do the research. It was a forced takeover. That was my first knowledge learning about how a forced takeover works.
Right.
But we had a CEO at GoldKist. We were farmer owned. We were a co-op. And they called us a good old boy system, and we were. I mean, we were just regular guys every day, but there was so much talent in GoldKist. And then Pilgrim came in. Our CEO took us public, and we went public about probably a month or 2, and then we were sold to Pilgrim. So I kind of kicked it around a little bit then. Did I want to stay with them? Did I want to go? What did I want to do? And I remember walking in the building one day and sitting in my office, and I thought, man, this office is all this familiar. You're going to have a new job, right? You got the new company. And so I kicked it around a little bit, and I put my name out there, and I was really humbled that I had a lot of people call, and so I had some options on which route I was going to go. And there was a family-owned business in West Tennessee called Butts Foods. Owned by a guy named Ray Butts then. And Ray's son was just getting back from college into the business, and he was buying some poultry from me, and he wanted me to come up there and talk to him. And so I went, and we kind of kicked it around a little bit, and I wasn't going to move to Jackson. I was living up here in Blackman, actually, and still had 2 daughters in high school, or one in high school, one in middle school. And so finally, we came to an agreement that they wanted to have a facility in Nashville. So we opened up a facility in Nashville, and my buddy Dave, who we talked about a little bit earlier, was my operations manager at GoldKist. And I love sharing this about Dave. He wouldn't mind. He would love it. Dave did a little time in Iowa for some drug possession. Not a little drug possession, a lot of drug possession. So Dave did a lot of time, but Dave was one of the coolest guys ever that was ever created in this world, man. And he did his time, and he came home and he was working for this printing company, and he was hating it. And his dad had got him the job, and we crossed paths a little bit, and he said, "Hey man, you got a job for me?" And I said, "Well, listen, I do." I said, "You got to be there at 3 a.m. You got to load trucks. The good part is you get off about noon. Can you pass a drug test?" He said, "Give me 2 days and I can." And
I'm no genius. I don't know anything that clears your system in 48 hours. So,
well,
and that's why you don't do drugs.
So, they passed the drug test, and I put him on. And listen, I mean, it wasn't about a month into it. He was just outshining everybody.
Wow.
And as I came up the ladder, I just brought Dave right up with me.
Yeah.
So I go over here to Butts Foods, man, and we're getting ready to try to do some damage in this Nashville market. And I called Dave and I said, "Come talk to you." And I go over his house and I said, "Dude, I want you to come with me." And he said, "Man, I don't know." He said, "I'm an ex-con." He said, "I got this job at Pilgrim now. The operations, they just elevated him to operation manager like I did." And he said, "I'm not going to get an opportunity like that, And I said, "I understand. I'm just asking if you want to come with me, So I left, and I was gone probably about half an hour, and he called me. He said, "Fuck it, I'm coming." And
took a lot of arm twisting, didn't it?
I said, "Did you ask Jamie?" That was his wife at the time. And I said, "Did you ask Jamie?" He said, "No, I told you before I asked her." That's okay. So we went. So we had this little building in Donaldson. We rented this little space in Donaldson. It wasn't even refrigerated. It was just kind of a cross dock. We had an office in there. It had a couple desks in there, and we brought 2 trucks down here. We brought a driver over from GoldKist with us, and this was exciting. We're starting this new market for this company out of West Tennessee in Nashville, and so I remember, I'll never forget, man. We got these offices set up, man. We're happy, everything's going well, and we sit down and we kind of look at each other, and we realize we don't have any customers. We don't really have a business. But listen, through hard work, we took that and we grew that to $11 million in a year $11 million revenue in a year.
Wow.
And that was a lot of work. And you know, it was rewarding to me because I was able to deliver to Dave what I promised him I would do.
Yeah.
And because, you know, if we had failed, he wouldn't have never said anything. But so yeah, and then we turned around circle. Once we started growing it like that, we were kind of just taking business from GoldKist, right?
Yeah.
And then we get this call one day or Pilgrim rather, it was Pilgrim then, that they want to talk to us about buying that distribution center. So me and Ray, we go to this meeting, and they're talking about, you know, we want to sell you this distribution center. We just want to be poultry processors. We want to be in the distribution business. And I just looked at the guy and I said, that's great. I said, but you really don't have nothing to sell. I said, because in about another year, you ain't going to have any customers. And I was really, really adamant, probably a little too arrogant then. So it all came round circle. We ended up going right back in the building we started from at GoldKist, working for Butts Foods, and just kind of took off from there. So Dave actually passed away on the stairs of that building. Oh, wow. That was a rough day. And then as we continue to grow Nashville, Ray asked me to come to Jackson to kind of do the same thing with his other facilities. We had one in North Alabama, one in Memphis, and one in Grenada, Mississippi, and then Jackson was the hub. So, you know, I finally went to Jackson, and you know, we did some good things there. We built another distribution center in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Right before I left, we taken one over in Tarrant, Alabama, which are outside of Birmingham. Mm-hmm. So I felt like we'd done a good job at Butts Foods, but I felt like it was time for me to move on. And so I did. And I kind of rested for a little bit, guys, because I'd realized I hadn't really had a vacation in about 11 years.
When was this?
This would have been 2016. 2018, I'm sorry, 2018.
Okay.
So, and actually I left Butts Foods on Valentine's Day on 2018. I remember this because I'm an Auburn guy, and they were playing Kentucky in basketball the night before, and I could remember going back and forth I had a lot of customers in Kentucky. So
my wife and younger son are gonna love you.
Well, So I left, and I decided, because we go on family vacations, and I'm up at 5:30 or 6, but my laptop's up, my iPad's up, my phone's up. Mm-hmm. Kids are doing kids are having a good time like they're supposed to be, but I'm not. I'm just there, and I didn't realize it then because I just thought I was working for a purpose, and the purpose was to be able to supply vacations like that, So I took some time off. I was going to take 3 months off, and that became about 6. And then I think it came 9, But I got a lot of stuff done around the house. I got health-wise, I wasn't in good health. I just worn myself into the ground. Yeah. So health-wise, I was back in the gym every single day. I was a cardio every single day. My diet got back right. My drinking cut way back. So I was able to I needed that healing time. And if y'all will know more about me as we go, but I don't question my faith, and I'll share it with anybody I want to. And God's timing has never let me down. So,
amen to that.
I'm sitting there without a job, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But by His grace, again, I didn't really have to work at that point if I didn't want to, Mm-hmm. So, we got healed. And then got a call from Kelly's Foods in Winter Garden, Florida, right outside Orlando. Kelly's operates facilities in Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, and Atlanta. And me and the Kelly's Foods people were always close because we done the same kind of business, but we never crossed paths. Yeah, they're just way too far south. And so I get a call from Kelly's, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you come talk to us about? We need some help in Miami." Because I was under non-compete, and I was going to honor the non-compete simply because I wrote the non-compete. I asked my sales guys to sign it, right? And I didn't want to be that guy. But I could go work in Florida that was outside the non-compete. And I just told him, there's no way I'm moving to Miami.
Right.
You know, I said, I'd move back to Antioch before I'd move to Miami. And, you know, so
Be safer.
We keep
One's
going
got
back.
beaches, though.
Well, it does. One's got a lot more traffic, too, though. And, and let me tell you something, guys. When I ended up taking the job, I traveled. So what they wanted me to do, they wanted me to kind of standardize their SOPs throughout the 5 facilities as much as I could. Obviously, every city is going to have a little bit of different personality.
Yeah.
So, but they wanted me to start in Miami because they was really struggling in Miami. So I did, and I would fly down there on Mondays and work, and I'd fly back on Thursdays and work from my house on Fridays. And but let me tell you something about Miami. It didn't matter what kind of rental car I had. It was the most ghetto car on the whole street. I promise you it was, man.
I have been to Miami once, and that place, like every car was like an elite sports car.
We were talking about early 2000s earlier. In the early 2000s, I got a job working for Tony Roma's Steaks and Seafood.
Okay.
Rib steaks and seafood. And I was going to be the GM of the one in Opera Mills Mall. It was a franchise. And they said, well, we want you to go to Miami. You're going to train down there. And then when you get done training, you can come back up here. We can open the restaurant and do the whole 9 yards, right? And I said, all right, that sounds good. And I had never been to Miami before. And buddy,
It's a cultural shock.
It is.
it is a different. It's a different world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like being in Nashville or Southeast anywhere.
I was there for less than 24 hours.
It's just different.
And I knew, like, I saw all I needed to. I was impressed.
Yeah.
We watched the football game we were there to watch, and we was out.
Yeah.
So, but it's a cool city. I'd go. But it's a unique spot.
Yeah, I tell my wife, I want to take her there. It's just for the experience.
Right.
Because there's great places to eat. There's great places to go see. The nightlife is just a different level. It's not like going to Broadway.
Right.
You know, it's not like going to the honky tonks, or even for that matter, going to any other big city. It's just a different vibe.
No, it is. And listen, the first time I went down there, my first day, the Kelly's people came up and met me, and you talk about, like, they do. Once you get south of Orlando, that is South Florida at that point. And you're right, it's a different country. If delivered pricing on product goes up $0.10 a pound when you cross that threshold. I didn't know that. When we're in South Florida, we're paying $0.10 a pound more than Orlando's just an hour up the road. It's in South Florida. So, but I got off there, and listen, I couldn't understand anybody talking around me. And what I could understand, though, is they were all speaking Spanish, but they wasn't even speaking the same Spanish.
Nah.
They couldn't understand each other.
That's when I learned that there was Spanish wasn't one
Dialects.
language.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
right.
multiple different dialects,
Yep.
and you could say one thing to one person and get in a lot of trouble.
That's exactly right.
No, yeah, you could. So I just kind of kept it mum, and got on the bus and got in my car and went. But it's so great because the first day I was there, they introduced me, and my whole staff in Miami was Hispanic. Mm-hmm. They're all good people, great people. To this day, I'm still in touch with these people. And I go upstairs and I meet everybody, and then after the introductions are made, I'm calling them in the office one-on-one. What do you do here, and what's your role, and trying to figure everybody out day one. And so I go downstairs and I call my wife and I say, these people are weird. She said, you realize you're 6'3", 225. And she said, you talk weird.
Yeah.
And she said, you're the weird one. And I got it then. I was like, she's right, man. But so, yeah, I had a great time, though. Cuban coffee at 3:00 every day in the office. They were making it.
It's wonderful.
It's a different vibe. It really is. And it's I didn't get to do much nightlife, if any, at all. I mean, it was all work. And I would go out and see customers with salespeople, and that was pretty cool to meet people like that. Yeah. Luckily for me, I'm a big horse race guy, And luckily for me, I could never find the track down there that they kept talking about. And it was a mile from my hotel. I just never went that way.
Yes.
So one of the last few times I'm down there, my youngest daughter came down with me. She came to hang out with me while I was working. And we were riding back, and we took a turn. We was just kind of sightseeing. And this big racehorse, it opens up in front of me. She said, "Daddy, there's the track right there." I was like, "Man, I'm glad I didn't know that."
Right there.
So yeah, but I had a great time in Miami. Worked for the Kelly's guys. Got Miami, where they wanted it. Then I went to Atlanta. Atlanta was a lot easier. I could take one of them little pond jumpers out of Jackson, and have a private airport, and Atlanta was pretty cool. And I'm a Braves fan, so I was able to listen to some baseball there in the city.
Right.
And then I was heading to Jacksonville for them, and COVID set in. So I couldn't travel. And so they was letting me work from home, and I was just brokering loads of chicken. So then I go into Jet's Pizza one day, and I'm getting lunch, and I see a sign on the door that says drivers wanted. And this is COVID. Y'all know it's lockdown. And everything I'm doing is on a computer. And I said, I want to deliver some pizzas. And so I said, I need to speak with the manager. And he come over, and I said, I want an application to be a driver. And he said, "You're kidding." I said, "No, I really do." And I did. I delivered pizza for about 3 months. And I was brokering chicken in my car. I would pull up to deliver a pizza, and I'd be brokering a load of chicken to somebody in Atlanta. So, and listen, you want to talk about seeing some crazy stuff.
I want to. Can you write off those miles if you're doing that?
You're working.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
on two fronts.
That's it.
Can you write it off on both?
That's it. I didn't know how much I can get out of this mileage right now. So that's.
So yeah, I done that, and then COVID ended, and I wasn't doing much. I wasn't really doing much with those folks for Kelly's. I felt bad, They were good people. They were good to me, and my father had passed during the time I was with them. And they just, when I came back home, they just told me stay there with him. They just stay there, and they paid me. They took care of me. I was trying to work best I could. My dad didn't understand that. He finally looked at me and said, "Don't you have to go to work?" And I said, "I am working," And he said, "Oh, the computer ain't work." That's just who he was. So, then it took a real turn. I went to work for a kitty litter production company in Dyersburg, Tennessee. And what I learned about Dyersburg real quick is if you don't smoke meth, you're in the minority. And I was in the minority.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And
Not wrong.
That's an interesting town. I'd like to say I enjoyed my time there, but I didn't. These people on the second shift would intentionally break the equipment so they could go home.
Oh, gee.
It was the worst. I don't know if y'all ever been in a kitty litter plant.
No.
It's dusty and dirty, and
It's exactly what I think it would be.
it's exactly what and it's hot, and there's meth heads everywhere.
And dry. And
Yeah.
just like, oh.
Listen, they didn't have to
Not
wait
for
2
me.
days to take their drug test. They just didn't make them, So, they got in there.
There's
living up
one
on-
guy out front peeing in everybody's cup. Like, just
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like high school at McGavick, the baseball team. The one guy was right there, and they was like, "You got 4 today, so
Y'all
don't go
call
too
Jimmy,
much."
come in here. We're going to need a test tomorrow.
Better
So,
drink a whole gallon of water.
That's right.
but yeah. So fast forward a little bit. I did a little work in ConAgra at Jackson at that plant, and realized I was too opinionated for the corporate world.
Yeah.
They didn't like the truth and the facts, and that's okay because I didn't know nothing else. But hell, I didn't like the way they were doing things either, So then I got a call from off the dock from an old guy named Jerry Walker, and me and Jerry had crossed paths many years ago when I was at GoldKist, and they were a capital company, and they had bought a company called Gibson Foods and Nashville Egg, and they merged them into Choice Foods of America. And then they bought for most of produce. You might recall some of these names back then. So they put the produce in there, and then they bought a seafood company in Memphis, and they put all these companies together. And while they were doing that, Jerry was trying to hire me from GoldKist, and then I wouldn't, I didn't want to go work over there. And then come down the line, I'd call Jerry and I'd say, hey, I'm ready to come work for you. And he'd say, I don't want you. And we kind of developed a friendship over 10 years doing that. Right. So me and my wife are sitting in a movie in Jackson, Tennessee on a Saturday night. And I get an email from Jerry Walker. I ain't talked to him in 2 years probably. I got an opportunity for you. And I said, well, let me call you tomorrow. So I did. I called Jerry the next day out of respect, because we were friends, and I hadn't talked to him, wanted to catch up. But he said, look, man, we got a problem up here. We've merged all these companies into one, and they don't know how to put together. And we've put them all in the same building. And I said, well, hell, Jerry, that's a problem. He said, well, I think you can fix that problem. I said, well, I don't know if I can fix it or not, but we're not going to find out, And so, fast forward and we talk a little bit, and this is on a Sunday afternoon, and he says, all right, well, I appreciate it. Good catching up, blah, blah. And I'm sitting in my office on Tuesday, and the phone rings, and it's Jerry Walker. And he said, you thought about it? I said, thought about what? Coming to work up here. I said, Jerry, I'm not moving back to Nashville. And he said, okay, I just want to make sure you didn't think about it. And I said, no, I didn't think about it. So a week passes, look down, Tuesday, same week later, Jerry Walker.
What's up, Jerry?
You thought about it? I said, what? Coming to work up here. I said, damn it, Jerry, I told you I don't want to work for you. I said, this is like 20 years ago, the same conversation. But you ain't heard the offer yet. I said, you don't have an offer, I know you. You ain't even heard it. Just come up here and see the building. I said, Jerry, I've delivered physically driving a truck myself in that building 1,000 times. I don't have to come look at the building. But you ain't seen it since a tornado hit it. We rebuilt all the offices. And I said, Jerry, I'm not interested. So a week later, he calls me again. You interested now? I said, no. Well, our partner is coming through there. He lives in Memphis, and wonder if you'd meet him in Jackson. And I said, Jerry, if I meet this guy, will you leave me alone? I promise I will. Just meet him. So I meet him, and we talk for 30, 40 minutes, and I just told him, I said, look, I'm not your guy. I said, but let me tell you, I do know the cast of characters you have there, because it was companies that I've dealt with all my life, right. So I knew the people.
Right.
And I said, Jerry kind of hit the line up to me. I said, do you want some advice? And the guy said, yeah, give me what you got. And I said, whoever you hire, if they don't start chopping heads from the top in the first 30 days, you got the wrong person. I promise you. And he said, okay. So he leaves. And then someone find out, he calls Jerry on his way back, and he says, we got to get this guy. I didn't find that out till later. So Jerry calls me, and we're talking.
You'd work your way out of it.
I was going home. Listen, I was going to go home and maybe hit a little maker's mark and just kind of relax on the front porch and be done with that mess. But so Jerry calls back, and he says, look, man, just hear the offer. I said, Jerry, you don't have an offer. Just come up to Nashville to our office and sit down with us. And I said, Jerry, this is the last time. If I come up there, are you going to quit calling me? I promise I will. Okay. So I go up there. Their office is on West End. It's our office now. And so we're sitting there, and I'm catching everybody up on my story, kind of where I came from, where I've been, what I've done. And they're all listening. And Jerry says, all right, give us a day. We're going to have you an offer. I said, I told you didn't have a damn offer. I said, but I got the offer. Here's what it's going to take. And I threw a number out there. I thought they'll laugh me out of this building.
Mm-hmm. That's what you need them to do.
I think we can do that. That's what they said. And we're walking to the door. The guy I met in Jackson is like a damn 10th grade girl at the damn prom with the king walking me out smiling. He said, I think I can get you a little bit more. I said, I think you better. I got to go call my damn wife. So I called my wife, and she said, well, how'd that go? I said, well, you better get ready to move back to Nashville. So that, got back to Nashville and got in the building first day. They was doing the inventory on a Saturday and wanted me to be there, and I did. And it was everything I thought it was going to be. It was like, I don't know if y'all are Seinfeld. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
It was like every department was a Kramer, a different Kramer.
Oh, wow.
Listen, this is what they say. You need to fix this up here. That's what I'm here for. But not you don't need to fix us. You just need to fix them. Right. Every one of them had the same store. And so I've been there about 4.5 years. And last year, I kind of approached them about I wanted to just buy Nashville. And they didn't want to break them up, which I understood. But we came to an agreement where the partner got bought out, and then I bought in. So very fortunate again to be working for good people, working with good people. They left me alone. They let me run their company, and that's all I would ask of people. Been very fortunate in my life. I thought about it the other day. I don't want to ever work for anybody again. And you can understand that, I'm sure. You don't want to work for anybody ever because you work for yourself so long.
Yes.
But I've been very fortunate that I've worked for some people that allowed me to be the owner, that didn't manage me, that let me go. So in all reality, it's probably been 17, 18 years since I've really felt I had to report to somebody. But, you work hard, and I've been rewarded well. I've built some people's companies. But they've taken care of me financially and rewarded me well.
Right.
I have no complaints about that. But it hits a little different when your name's on the building.
Right.
And my uncle always told me, you're not going to make the money you want to make till your name's on the building. And he's right. Now the money I was making for everybody else is for my family.
You know what I find funny about that statement is, and you may be different, but for me, the statement is 1,000% true. You're never going to make the money that you want to make unless you work for yourself. But that dollar amount is less. Because I care less about the amount of money I make.
Right.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Because wealth is not dollars.
Well, you're right.
And I would say that I am one of the most wealthy people in the world. Because I have my beautiful wife and my 3 kids. My wife works with me. My oldest son works with me. I get to see them every day. I get to come home at night and sleep in my house with my kids. I get to go watch my son's baseball games, my youngest son's basketball games, right? I have the opportunity currently to be able to teach my oldest son how to barbecue and how to run a business.
Yeah.
And how to be a leader. How many men can say that their children get to learn how to be a leader from them?
Yeah. And
that's, to me, that is, man, there's not a dollar amount in this world that could pay me to give that up.
It's just, it's freedom, right? It's complete freedom. And that's awesome you say that. My dad would be able to say what you just said. And I'm very fortunate that, I've had good mentors, but he was the first and original and the greatest. And so I can understand, there's something special about that,
I told my oldest son today, when I die and go on to my happy hunting ground, I am more than likely not going to leave my kids with a buttload of money. But what I will leave them with is a legacy that they will never be able to get rid of. That we, as a family, have been able to impact the world in a positive way. And that, to me, is worth more than any dollars I could ever give them.
Wow, nice. But again, it stems from the freedom that you have, not having
1,000%.
to work for somebody else.
Oh yeah. Look, it's. I was interviewing a guy today, and he asked me why I was looking for somebody for this particular role, and I said, man, look, I got 2 different companies 2 different nonprofits, 2 kids that play sports, and I'm trying to decide if I actually want to start a 3rd company. So I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But when I wake up every day and my feet hit the ground, I get to take that first step towards something that I want to do.
Absolutely.
And when you work for other people, you're taking that first step for something they want to do.
Yeah.
Right? This is way bigger than me. And if I can get my kids to understand and realize that you can do whatever you want to do if you put the time, effort, and work into it, they'll never work a day in their life.
Yeah. Well, one of my dad's best sayings ever was, "If you love what you do, you won't work a day. You'll never work a day in your life." And
1,000%. Now, in the same sentence, in the same breath, you're gonna physically and mentally work harder than you will on anything ever if you love it. But because you love it, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the whole part of it.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back from hearing from our sponsors, we'll talk about some dinner for 2. What do you think?
I think I know the answer.
You know the answer? We'll be right back.
Most brands want something clean, polished, quite frankly, forgettable. Dead Meat Society is for the ones that just don't quite fit the mold. For the late nights, that meaty perfection, the hunger inside. Join the society, stay soft. deadmeatsociety.com. Go check it out.
Welcome back to Single Tree Nation, guys. I'm your man, Charlie Eblen. As always, we have our illustrious co-host, Mr. Derry Wells, smiling from ear to ear because it is summertime. He's got his toes out, and it's ready to rock and roll.
Oh, man. Feel the heat outside.
You feel the heat?
Yeah. It's a warm day today.
I meant to ask you, you sent me a message. Was that Monday? Sunday? Or we talked? Was that Sunday we talked about brisket?
Yeah.
How'd it come out?
I learned a lot.
You learned a lot. Okay.
This is my 5th brisket that I've done.
Okay.
I tried to implement some things that I know you kind of gave me along the way.
Yeah.
Found out that I have a warming function on my oven now.
All right.
And so I will utilize that in the future. I did utilize it Monday night.
Yeah.
And it was nice. But I would have done it slightly differently. So very much, you made the comment on the phone that it's all about aerodynamics. And I chuckled because I thought you misspoke, but I wasn't going to correct you. And then after we spoke with, that was when I was cutting and trimming.
Yeah.
And then after I sent you the picture of how it turned out, you were like, yeah, those high points, probably a little more rubbery, a little tougher, whatever. And they were to get the knife started. It was great once it cut through. But you said you were talking about the edges.
Yeah.
And man, I kid you not, I didn't sleep well Sunday night. Because I'm worried about my brisket overdoing out in the, and my phone kept disconnecting from my temperature probe. And I was like, I don't need this disconnect and it shoot way up there. Like I'm paranoid about it, right? So I didn't sleep for most of the night. So I'm perusing some stuff, and Malcolm Reed, I came across his website. And, just remember when you're trimming your brisket, it's just as much about aerodynamics. I was like, oh my gosh, he didn't misspeak. I thought you did, and I read the same thing. So I learned first, it's the one you buy. There were only 6 left in the store. I bought the most uniform one, and it was still funky.
Hey, you know what's cool?
What?
You kind of know a guy that can get you a brisket.
Yes. Also cool. Not at 6 p.m. on a Sunday night. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know.
I kind of own a restaurant.
Well, I was walking through a Kroger. They were on sale.
Yeah.
So that's
and listen, now you know me. I kind of own 2 warehouses. We got plenty of briskets.
Right.
I now no longer have any.
We get all the briskets you want.
We got prime brisket now.
Here's the thing, though. My wife loved it. And but when we met, she did not eat meat almost at all. I was joking around with some of my teachers today that know my wife, and they were like, they're like, you do all the cooking? I was like, yeah, probably 95% of it, you know, kind of going back and forth. And they said, what did she used to eat? And I said, look, when we met, she would make a pizza at night in the oven. She'd cut it in half, eat that half, put the other half in the fridge. That was lunch for the next 2 days because she'd take the quarter of that. And dinner or lunch, if she didn't have that, was a bag of hot Cheeto fries and a Mountain Dew. And I was like, of course, when we met, she's got gastrointestinal. She's like, I always got heartburn. I was like, look at what you just ate. Like, let's eat a vegetable. And so, anyhow, one of our first dates, I made homemade chicken Alfredo. She had never had anything like it. And she was like, you did this? And I was like, 18 minutes. Like, I got this menu down, you know. Like, no big deal. So, anyhow, she loves brisket. It's one of her favorite things.
Yeah.
She compared me to you, thanks. Because she came up to smoke on the shores. No, you did do it. You came up to smoke on the shores, and she sampled that one, and she's like, "This is so good." And then she had some of, was it Sailor Jerry? Had some of his chicken. Still can't figure out how to do that. Those thigh pillows. He nailed that. But I was looking at our legs. Like, our legs were perfect in my mind. That was a sweet piece of chicken.
It was great.
Golly. But anyhow, all that to be said, my wife likes more protein than she wants to admit now, but I gave it a whirl, and I'll do it differently next time, and I'll do it sooner. But
well, in the next few weeks, we'll get you to come hang out.
I need trim. That's what I need help. I need trim.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
Because I was scared to take meat off. Because like you can't mess up the brisket, right?
Yeah.
Until I talk to you, though.
I got a grinder too.
I've got a grinder, and I'm gonna have some sweet hamburgers this weekend.
Yeah,
so I am looking forward to that. But anyway, sorry, I took over the show there.
Roger, you do any smoking?
Yeah, I do. I've in this part of my life, I've gone to a pit boss.
Yep.
I don't know if that's cheating or not, but
Nope.
Yep, gone to a pit boss. Got one for my birthday about 4 years ago, and just I love it. And
Look, there's not many people that are as crazy as I am that want to sit by a fire for 10 to 12 hours, managing and tending to it, and when it's 90 degrees outside or 17 below zero or whatever.
That's the one that gets me is
it's
when,
raining.
It's 23 degrees for the high. And I'm like, well, he's open today. Like that's.
So last year when we had the snow come through, it got really, really cold one day, right after the snow. And, but the roads were pretty clear. And we opened up for lunch late that day. But I only had a limited amount of protein because we've been closed. Mm-hmm. And we were going to be open up full time the next day, so I had to smoke that day.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the restaurant until about 6:30, 7 o'clock that morning. And when I'm lighting the smoker, I went live on TikTok or Instagram or one of them, and somebody, I made the comment of it being like negative 2 or 3 degrees outside. And they corrected me and said, no, dummy, it's negative 17. Why are you outside?
Because windshield doesn't mean nothing to me.
Right. So I had to actually look it up and make sure that they weren't lying to me. But yeah, that's what's crazy. So, but most people, one, don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. Two, don't have the time because they have jobs or whatever they're doing throughout the day. And it's hard. There's so much that goes into it. One of the guys I interviewed today told me that he could get it down in 2 or 3 days.
Nah, I don't know, man.
And I'm like, well, look, man, it took me 33 years to figure it out.
The nuance of building a fire alone.
Yeah.
Before you put meat on.
When you cook the way we cook outside, there's no awning, there's nothing covering the pit. Everything is a factor. You have to understand what barometric pressures do to your pit. Mm-hmm. And that when you have a low coming in, it actually pushes heat back down into your pit. Right? So you have heat and smoke that are not coming out because there's so much pressure from the atmosphere.
Yeah. So the last 3 or 4 days been a little bit more of a challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Probably almost a week now.
So look, like I cook my briskets to a specific size and shape.
Yeah.
Because I want them to be a specific size and shape for my smoker and the product that I want to produce.
Right.
So when the briskets that I'm cooking are about 10 pounds after they're trimmed, I don't care if it's a 20-pound packer when I get it. It's going to be about 10 pounds when I get done with it. So that's what I cook for the restaurant. So in doing so, I can typically have those done in about 9 hours, typically at 250 degrees.
Yeah.
Because they're so small.
Right.
Those today took almost 11.
Wow.
Because the pressure is different. Right. So, you have to pay attention to that. You got to pay attention to the moisture level in the air, humidity, which way the wind's blowing.
Does your wood as a fuel, is that moisture level pretty consistent, or does that change as well?
The guy that produces my wood for me is pretty consistent.
Okay. Because I would think that would play in that factor as well, whether it's smoke or whatever.
Where that changes for me is I have 2 ricks that sit underneath an awning, and then I have 2 ricks that sit out in the sun. Mm-hmm. So the stuff that sits out in the sun dries out faster. Right. So I have to use it first. Mm-hmm. Because I like a higher moisture level in the wood. Personally, I just like the way it smokes better. Okay. We still run a very, very clean fire, but that moisture level helps with the wood itself burning slower, so I get the proper smoke into the food.
You want to know how I choose my fuels? Which one of those bags is on sale? There's the yellow tag. I'll take that one. Dump it in. Look, I'm pellet grill chill. I'm cheating, and I 100% think
that's
it's cheating.
My point is,
but I love it. So
not everybody wants to do what I do. Right. Yeah. Right. Like, I mean, sitting by a fire all day is enjoyable for me. Right. Because it reminds me of being a kid. We talked about our parents and our grandparents earlier, and my whole business was started because of my grandfather. Right. And sitting by a fire with my dad and smoking cigars and drinking bourbon and trying to solve the world's problems. So if I can sit by a fire on my park bench out in front of my
You were a kid drinking bourbon with your dad?
Nobody said nothing about all that.
Hell, I was.
We don't need to get nobody in trouble.
No.
Look,
it was different in the 80s, man.
He's 79 years old. He cares less. But so yes, I was, and that was perfectly fine. He didn't care if I drank bourbon and smoked a cigar with him. He just didn't want me doing it
anywhere else. That's exactly right.
But
house rules.
Yeah,
that's kind of memory lane for me, because what we talked about earlier. I'm 12, 13 years old on these meat trucks in the summer, and you're in Lawrence County or Wayne County, and it's so crazy because you'd walk into one place and you'd see these gas smokers going. And then you'd walk into another one that'd have them real pits with the raising where they put the fires up under the brick. And and so I've been in many houses like that. And and of course I'm not going to name any names, but there was a pretty good outfit in Nashville that really disappointed me the first time I delivered there. Is when I walked in, because the chimney outside, you could smell the hickory smoke from 1.5 miles away. Mm-hmm. Well, they was cooking that stuff in there with gas smokers and liquid smoke and just burning hickory wood in the fireplace. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, what are you doing? But
marketing.
but no, I've been in them old pit houses you're talking about with them
As
guys.
Of today, I will tell you there's 3 barbecue joints in Middle Tennessee that cook on 100% wood.
And you're one of them.
Me, Shotgun Willie's, and Stokehouse.
And that's crazy, ain't it? Because that's, moving to West Tennessee too, that was one thing I learned. Everybody in West Tennessee could smoke a Boston mutt better than everybody. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this don't taste no better than where I come from. Mm-hmm. But okay.
Now, I will say, I don't know how Peg Leg does all of his proteins. I'm pretty sure he uses some rotisserie pits. Pat, for all of his whole hog is all wood. That's 100% wood for sure.
Pat Martin?
Pat Martin, yeah. Now he has like his location downtown and all his other places too. They have big rotisserie pits to cook their small proteins and stuff like that. So it's the problem with barbecue in today's world is it is expensive. And most people, you remember being a kid, man, I mean, brisket was 99 cents a pound, $1 a pound.
Right.
Like it was the throwaway meat. Nobody who wanted this tough ass piece of meat. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Right? Nobody the East Coast still don't know what tri-tip is. Like there's nobody this side of the Mississippi that can tell you what a good tri-tip is supposed to taste like. But I'm telling you, it is
Smokes up well.
It is a delicious piece of meat. And picanha, woo, slap your grandma.
I saw some recent videos about both of those, and about how to dress them and get them and what part of the cow they come from. And it's an impressive little setup because it's not much different, but it completely changes what goes on with it.
But that's where like barbecue was. It was the poor man's food because you could get it cheap. You could get a whole bunch of it cheap. You could feed the whole family, and it didn't cost a lot. And now we were talking about briskets a little while ago. A prime brisket, man, by the time you get to the restaurant standpoint, it's $7-8 a pound.
Oh yeah,
And you look, if you don't know what you're doing, and you go get choice meat and try to cook a choice brisket, and you don't know exactly what you're doing, it ain't gonna be great.
Have you ever known anybody? I haven't. That got the first one right. I've never known anybody got the first brisket right. No. And it's
I've ruined more briskets than I probably cooked right. Think about that for a minute.
Have you been to Schaefer's in Lawrence
Put
County?
together 5 years of.
I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, he passed about, I guess, 6 or 8 months ago now, but Texas style brisket, he does a good job up there. Yeah. And I guess they've kept the tradition since he's gone, but he was very picky about the size of his briskets. He would only take heavy briskets, right? And listen, there's only so many heavy cows, right? If everybody wants heavy briskets, everybody can't get them, you know. Yeah. So, but yeah, he does a good job. You do a good job too, though.
We try real hard, man. It's I tell people it's a craft, and cooking barbecue is about feel. It's not about a temperature. It's not about a probe or a thermometer or an SOP, because you can go and cook something one way one day, and then the next day come in and try to do the exact same thing, and it come out awful.
Yeah.
I saw you talk about that. I saw a guy when I was up late Sunday night. He was like, "Now look, whenever I'm getting ready to wrap mine, you always got to jiggle your brisket because you got to know where it's at." And like, I'm laughing because what I thought he said was know where it's at physically. That's what a lot of people heard. What he meant was know where it's at in the cooking process.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't get that until you jiggle that, right? And he's and every step he was going through it, and I was like, there's a lot of people that just went over their head. But he knew as he set it down, where it was at. And I was like, man, that's the kind of stuff that you miss with it being that nuance. And so when somebody's like, I can pick it up in about 3 days, I don't know, man.
It's funny. I didn't learn how to cook brisket with a thermometer. Like the guy that really taught me how to cook brisket didn't use a probe ever. Not when he wrapped it, not when it was done. Like, just didn't use one.
You just got there and feel it.
He just went out there and grabbed it.
Wow.
And was like, all right, yeah, bark looks good. Let's wrap it. Go pick it up. Oh yeah, it's ready to go.
And that's it.
Okay. And so when people ask me when I first started. Even with the restaurant just a few years ago, first starting teaching people how to cook, they would say, what temperature is it supposed to be?
No.
I don't know.
But it feels like this.
But it feels just like, hey, grab this. All right, that's what it's supposed to feel like.
It's like them old line cooks in every steakhouse I've ever worked in.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that was done.
It's medium. There you go.
There you go.
That's fun.
It's good stuff. All right, Roger, we have a segment on our show. It's called Dinner for Two.
All right.
So it's real simple. If you could go and have dinner with anybody past or present, who would it be and why?
I've got two answers to this, but I'm going to tell you what my main answer is Ice Cube, and it's going to be Ice Cube for a lot of reasons. I was an NWA fan, obviously in high school.
Yep.
When Ice Cube and them split, I felt like my parents were getting divorced and I had to choose a side, right? So I chose Ice Cube's side. But let me tell you, he stands on moral ground, in my opinion. He tells it like it is. He don't back up from anybody. And I think he's a real dude. And I think this country needs more outspoken real guys like that.
True.
I had pleasure to meet Snoop Dogg, and you'll love this. So I meet Snoop Dogg, right? And I'm struck. I'm in awe of Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah.
And coolest guy in the world. So we start talking for a minute, and then it converts to grandkids. We're talking about grandkids, and he's asked me about my grandkids, and he's telling me about his grandkids, and we just talk a little bit further. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, Snoop, can I ask you something?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "What would have happened if Dre would have kept writing the beats and Cube would have kept writing the lyrics?" And he reaches down and he gets around my shoulder and he says, "I would have never had a career." But it's Ice Cube on a lot of reasons. I'm not going to get into a racial thing by no means, but I think Ice Cube stands on firm ground with everything he does.
Yeah.
His music, his movies, the way he's a family man, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
He don't get into that political world, but he what he believes, he believes. Struck out. Ice Cube is an entrepreneur, right? I mean, he struck out of this NWA thing that was going great to start up something he didn't know was going to work, and look at what he's done. So that probably shocked you a little bit. But it would be Ice Cube, and the next one would be Charles Barkley. I've always wondered if I could, who would I eat with, who would I sit down with, and those two guys were always neck and neck. I'm an Auburn guy. But
I don't know if I'd eat with Charles Barkley, but I'd love to play golf with him.
Absolutely.
I could beat him. Yeah, I could beat him.
Just to see him swing a golf club in person would make me
hysterical.
Just don't drink with him. Don't drink with him. But I just believe those two guys stand on firm ground, and I don't believe they play one side of the fence or the other. I believe that where these guys stand all the time, like it or not. They've both said things I didn't like.
Right.
But hats off to them.
Right.
So
I don't think they try to find the politically correct answer.
They don't.
They just, here's how it is, here's how I think it is, and if you got something to change my mind, let me hear it, but this is where we go. And that's a really, really good answer.
That's pretty good. So let's say you're gonna go have dinner with either one of those fellas.
Okay.
It's gonna be at a barbecue joint.
All right.
And you go in, you get your brisket or your pork or whatever you like, your turkey, get the Holy Trinity, whatever, but you got to come down to the sides, and you're going to get either your mac and cheese or your smoked beans, baked beans.
Yep.
Which one are you going to get?
Baked beans.
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 Beans are making a comeback.
Beans is absolutely.
Yeah.
We're 130 something episodes in. I need to go back and count what everybody's doing on the beans and the mac.
Absolutely.
Figure out who the actual winner is.
In my mind, law of averages is going to take over, and they're within 2 or 3. But
I'll tell you what, y'all do it. Y'all find out.
Comment on
Send me guesses.
That's it.
On what the ratio is, and the winner will get a free barbecue sauce.
Free barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
And the rest
I have learned, since you brought up sauce, I have multiple sauces that I keep at the house. 2 or 3 of them paired very well with that brisket I made. One of them that I actually like, especially on chicken, did not do well with the brisket at all. And I'm learning quickly that when they talk about flavor profiles, they mean it. Like that. It's not just words that they're saying to sell something. That it really means, hey, this matches up well with this or this. So,
100%.
But yeah, your sauce is perfect with everything on your menu.
Oh well,
So
thanks.
Wow.
And I say that as
You're
a
a
compliment.
sweetheart.
No, but I think I've said this before on the show. I didn't initially like your sauce.
Yeah.
But I was putting it on my own personal things.
Yeah.
Your sauce at your restaurant nails top to bottom. Whatever you're seasoning and the way you put it all together, it's perfect. But
So is that a compliment to his cooking or a disgrace to yours? I
yes.
don't know.
The answer is yes.
Well,
Yes.
listen, the sauce is a big deal, right? I mean, how long did it take you to come up with that sauce? Was that your dad, or who came up with
no,
that?
I wrote all the recipes myself. We did that sauce to get it finalized almost a year.
Okay.
Because of when I developed my original sauce, I think it's the 6th rendition of the recipe, maybe 7. Somewhere around episode 4 there, we were pretty excited.
Yeah.
And I had to give it to my business partner and was like, hey man, try this out. Tell me what you think. He is not a cook, but he's from Kansas City.
Okay.
So they like a lot of sweet barbecue sauces.
And beef.
Right.
Yeah.
So he wanted more of a molasses kind of flavor in it and kept going back to, oh man, it needs something sweeter. Oh, it needs something sweeter. And I'm not a molasses person. So I was like, all right, let's try to figure it out. And then, so I brought like 3 different versions, one with honey, one with molasses, one with just an extra brown sugar kick.
Yeah.
And I brought them all to him. I was like, okay, which one you like the best? And he kept going back to the molasses version. And I was like, okay, well, we'll try that out. So then I changed it a couple of times and moved on. The only one that's been a home run is the white sauce. The Alabama white sauce that we make.
It's so good.
And that's your recipe?
All my recipes,
okay.
yeah. It is actually going to be retail ready in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
So
Gibson, I mean, Gibson is the creator, right? Do we all agree on that? Big Bob Gibson of the white sauce.
Yep.
And
yeah.
so it's, I guess you duplicate. It's a compliment to duplicate. And a lot of people making that white sauce now, but
I changed mine a little bit. A lot of people use like horseradish in it to tartan it up.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go that route. I'm a big fan of taking inspiration and putting my twist on it.
I got you. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Do you do any competitions?
We've done. I typically do 1 or 2 a year.
Okay.
This year we did Smoke on the Shores in Lebanon. And then we have one coming up in a few months.
Yep. September.
In September in Illinois at the Praise the Lord 17th Street barbecue competition. That one's going to be a good one. I'm excited to go up there. I don't do a ton of. I didn't get into this to be a comp barbecuer. Don't do it for trophies.
Right.
I do it for people. Right. So but I've learned a lot by the comps that we have done. So we're just gonna, keep learning. Derry did his first one with me this year.
Met some great folks.
And then he's gonna come up in September and do that one with me. And that one's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a few days of cooking and meeting and a lot of big names come to that one. Rodney Scott's been to that one. Kerry goes to that one. Kerry Bringle from Peg Leg comes to that one. I don't know if they're doing them this year or not, but a lot of the big guys in the comp world come to that one. Yeah. Just from, them having such a history.
I'm just going to fangirls, all I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you know Lee McWright?
I don't know him.
Okay. He's a good friend of mine. Lee's a great guy. He catered my daughter's wedding last October. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've known Lee. Yeah. We sold Lee. I mean, we were selling Lee Boston butts at Bobby's Dairy Dip 25 years ago. When he took it over from his dad. So Lee's a great guy. He's kind of like you. Reminds me of you. He don't do it for the trophies. He's got a few, but he don't do it for the trophies. And I just didn't know if y'all
comp barbecue is just it's different than it's even different than what it used to be. They're looking for a specific taste profile, a specific flavor, the whole 9 yards. So it's just a different world.
Yeah.
I can cook an amazing brisket at the restaurant that you would think is just the best thing ever, and then I take that same brisket to a competition and not finish in the top 30.
Yeah.
In a 20 person comp.
Yeah.
Smoke ring, right?
Yeah. It's just a different world. So, Roger, look, we appreciate you coming to hang out with us today. If people want to get a hold of Off the Dock, try to find your products and be able to source them for their restaurants, how can they do that?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, offthedockfoods.com. You can go to the website. It's still under a little bit of construction. You can call the office, 350-6170, area code 615. We have an inside sales guy that can lead you to a salesperson. And we're not hard to find. And listen, if you see the truck, flag it down. I
love it. I love it. You got a Friday Feel Good for us?
I do. Listen, in life, you're going to face a lot of different seasons. You're not going to be able to grow in a time of harvest. You're not going to harvest when it's time to plant. Make sure you know what season you're in. do the work that's required then, get the best out of life, and keep moving forward. Y'all know what to do. Find somebody you know. Tell them you love them.
Awesome.
Nice.
Look, if y'all want to get involved with the show, please feel free to reach out to me directly. You can call me at 615-307-0120. Email me at charlie@singletreebbq.com. If you want to get in touch with Roger at Off the Dock, give me a call, and I will hook you up with the right person. We can get Luke to give you a call and set you up over there as well. Some amazing products, awesome people to work with, and you won't be disappointed in what they sell. I can guarantee you that. So, look, until next time, guys, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We air every Saturday morning on ESPN 94.9, The Fan, from 8 until 9 a.m., and we'll see you then.
Y'all be good.